coins over here. All right. How are we doing out there? First things first, my name's Kenneth Bird. The company is ILEG Technology-SCREENS. We're in the process of mapping everything out and planning to build a huge submersive projection screen, which just came to me at the spirit of a moment. And I thought, why not? All right, let me see. First, I'm going to have to move this and this off my desk because I can work on this PC model over there. Just connect up my cables from my computer. And we'll get ready soon. I have to go to Home Depot and I got to pick up the wood and everything. I think I got plenty of brackets to do this. Pretty sure. I'll have to count my brackets. See what we have to do this. Should have enough to do it. I didn't add that part up. But anyway, it's going to be 10 feet. I want to do 12 feet, but 12 feet will literally shame behind the back of the door. 10 feet by... Oh, great. Did we write anything down? Did we do write stuff down? I remember it offhand. Everything was supposed to be. Let's scribble everything down. Okay, yeah. It's going to be 10 feet by, the height's going to be 7 feet 3 inches because there was a calculation with how wide the top and bottom are going to be per beam, which is going to be about 2 inches high. So that's 4 inches. And the average side height of the ceiling is 7 feet by 7 inches. And we have to put the bars in the middle. So they have to be here. Like they're built from here to here, they have to be inside because we need multiple ones inside to put the tile system in. We can't do this one with fabrics first, it's too big. And I want something big enough so when I sit behind my desk, I can see the entire screen. So sitting from behind the desk, my chair is high enough where I can literally see the bottom half of that with no problem. That's what I wanted to see because when I do my flight simulators, I want to be able to take up this whole entire wall. So we're going to use the gaming technology for that, of course, why not? Gaming technology for that. After I get done building this machine, I have my setup I'm actually building for my GTA 6. I think I'm getting a 5060 graphic card now. I'm getting a 5060. 5060s are cheap. It's not that expensive. It's like a $500 card. So that's pretty cheap. So I think I might get a 5060 in there. That's not bad. $500 is really, really reasonable. Something about doing that. Because I have to build me a gaming PC. I need a gaming PC to run GTA 6. And I definitely want to display it on here. Alright, first, let me get all this done. That's what I'm doing with my steam pump setup. I'll start working on that case too. I'm trying to think of which one to do that one. I might do that as a wall, flat wall display. Oh, wait. We did want to build that new design. The new design, we can put that new design together. We can build that, the simple flat system. All right, definitely got to build that. But I don't want to build this one like that one. I want to build this one completely different. So I think I'm going to do a different structure design for this one than this one. So I want 3 different wooden pieces that I want to be completely different. That's what I'm going to go with. So I didn't think about that. Yeah, the 5090 is so cheap. Like $500. Actually, 400, well, roughly $500. How about that, like 5090? I'm definitely, not 5090, 5060, I can get one of those. I'll grab one of those. Definitely gotta put in an i9 processor because I do not see the reason why I would definitely need an i9 processor. No, i9 processor. Do we need an i9 processor? I don't know, I have to look into that. I'm gonna research that. I'm gonna put an i9 processor in it because I've seen the motherboard, and they have a motherboard, an MSI motherboard, and CPU combo, and they're i12s. Actually, i9s. If I get an i9 motherboard and something with the MSI board on it, would be really nice. And then with a 5060 on it, that'd be fantastic. Of course, I'm going to have to liquid cool it because I'm definitely not putting a 5060 on it. We don't liquid cool it. That's going to be a nightmare for me. That'd scare me to death. All right, so let me get my unit ready to go. For some reason, I don't know what it is about this setup here. It fights me so much just to move it. But I'm going to be doing a rejob on it anyway. It was just built for the time being to support my unit. All right, what's hanging and what's dragging? Because I do not want to pick this thing up and then it just crashes on me. We definitely got to put a bottom piece on this and work on this, the bottom piece on this. Yeah, that gamer, I told you that gamer is a beast, man. That thing looks amazing. Amazing how incredible that thing looks. Ugh. And those of you who place orders, thank you so much. We appreciate the business, as always. I can't wait for you to get your gamer kits. Let's see, taking all this roll on this side. And a ton of room on my desk. I need on this. Why do we have all that money for what? Yeah, when I went online, I saw all the different types of building blocks so we can get the build pieces with. I said, definitely going to build this one differently over here. Alright, keyboard and mouse is all wireless. The desk, we charged this already. So that's good, that's not needed. Oh, got a short instant run for my freaking cables now. That works out fantastic. Oh, you have to cost the desk anymore. That is fantastic. We need keyboard and mouse is separate. We don't need that. I need this to be opened up for my stuff that I'm going to have up here. Definitely going to make my other thing PC. I got two arcade units that I like, and I want to build me one for my more serious stuff. I got some games that require higher graphic cards and higher CPU, so definitely going to be out getting that ready for that. I gotta go pick up my Mech controllers. And I gotta finish up the desk, which I'm probably gonna just get the other printer fixed, because that one prints better images than the other one. And I can get ready to start doing my whole entire desk to get that done. Start building everything else, but I'm definitely putting in the screen first. And the panel system is going to be much easier with this one, because this one, the panel system, I can just go to my buddy's shop and paint each one of them. My fish tank is going to be over here. That's where I'm going to put my fish tank at pretty soon. So I need to get all of this. Always wanted a shark, so I'm getting a shark. We have a new type of screen we're developing for the fish tank, so it's going to be over there. It's only going to require 500 lumen projector to work. I got a demonstration to do with you today, so make sure you're charged up. Definitely want to do a demonstration today. And I got a vacuum under the rug. What do we have here? I'm so glad to get back into walking again. I had to take it off a little bit because I have some stuff I'm working on right now. Some videos and stuff I have to do. Okay, dinosaur boy, let's get you over here. And let's see, the game controller. I'm not gonna do that, so I'm gonna use it. I'm using it right now. Let's see, what do we need here? What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? I'm missing something here. Cord hooks in here. Everything in here is wireless. What about that PC? The whole thing is wireless. Where's my power cord at for this thing? Great. So much better over here. Perfect. Situate it. Yes, that's good. Fantastic. Excellent. All right, let me see. And I'm also going to be building a frame for my monitor now because I don't use the other monitor anymore. We don't need it because the new technology replaced it. So no more. I'm going to build a frame for it so it sits up by itself, but I have no water bottles behind it. So I'm going to design me a new wooden frame for that. Very straight. Very straight. Not straight. I should go off. Look at the rudder fingers. Okay. Taco's TV. Okay, for the time being. So, what we're going to do for Taco's setup, because I don't want to use monitors anymore. I'm done with monitors. We don't need them no more. We're going to turn that area right here, my bookcase area. We're going to put a screen down there for Taco. So a screen and projector behind it, which is easy to do. So I'll go and get I got boxes coming today for whatchamacallit, for Amazon. I'll cut them up and put them in there, make the side panels and everything. And guess what I just found out? I can get free black boxes at Amazon. Yep, because that's what I went to go pick up a couple days ago. I got all black boxes, so I want to start putting all my stuff in black boxes when we ship it out. That's what I'm going to do next. All right, let me see. This is my bag for carrying my screens in. I got to be on site this month. Definitely want to do some demonstrations on my new screen. That's why I brought my bag ahead of time. But if I have to carry, I don't want to carry those big screens all over the place. I'll put it right in here. For the time being, I gotta do something with those fans. I got tons of fans over there. Gotta do something with them. Let me get them settled in first. Okay. How in the world did you get like this? What are you going through? Sorry, people, I got a mansion. We got one or two directions strapping it up so we could all this. Manage everything, it somehow all ends up being tangled up either way. not supposed to be happening. Go there. Go to something else. Where's the TV? Hopefully that's tangled up too badly. Cool. This is the cord. Be demonstration for that. Hold it back there. We'll deal with that. Cool. That's fantastic. And I gotta run the connect system through there too. Get that connect system hooked up, so I'm gonna do that PC instead. Alright, so this is the other joystick. We got to calibrate this thing, because I haven't calibrated this stick in a while. Get that thing done. It's trash. That's going down there. That's rubber space. Yeah, next place, gigantic desk. Really big, monster, gigantic desk. Definitely need one better. Definitely need a giant desk. Airline that was definitely knock over the screen, and the screen is off. Oh, alright. Go to frame for that. So that comes up and goes down. When I don't want to use it, I can bring it down and put it somewhere else. I'm definitely going to be running this PC through there. Got the retro games on there. Definitely running the PC through there. Alright, it'd be much easier for when you over here. Your system over here would be much easier for you to do. I'm going to have less fans. So we can really oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that'll definitely work. Okay. I'm going to bring this over here, here. Really? Did all that made all that noise? That little cable made all that noise. Jeez. How far up around? Alright, cool. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, it's the printer. We can put up my orders. Let's see where we're going at. So basically, I already did all the measurements, know exactly what we need to buy to start it. Actually, we're going to build it. I thought we were just going to start it, but we're actually going to build it. And the system is designed so I can take the whole entire thing apart and I can take it with me when I get ready to set up. The new place is much bigger. The place I'm looking for right now, I saw 3 of them. One is 24,000 square feet. 24,000 square feet, we can put in a massive giant screen, which I'm going to bring 5 people to help me build it. So we can all sit in our lazy boy recliners. Each of us get a section of the game off. So you could, well, technically we can't even show you that place. Yeah, that's when we're working on a lot of crazy experiments over there, so I'll never see it. And there were some people that in the day like, oh, it's because of the no. We got something for the trolls already. We already made preparations for trolls already. We got cyber investigators. We're hiring a bunch of them. They're going to basically do the job of us being able to take trolls to court and sue them. So we already got all that planned out. That's all ready to go. So I even got bounty hunters. I actually got a friend of mine who's a bounty hunter. We don't think we have to go to that extent. I don't think we have to go down that road. But yeah, for all you trolls up there, they want to dox addresses and all that stuff. Yeah, I hired some people that can figure out where you live at. So if we have any problems that pop up and you feel that you are secretly online and no one can find you, I got a few friends that can find you. So with that being said, yes. Now for some people saying we could find you too, what do I care about that? I'm not breaking the law. I'm not doing anything. I'm good. But we can prove that you have broken the law if you do something that you're not supposed to be doing, then you don't want to be found. There's a difference between people who want to be found and people who don't want to be found. People that do nothing wrong, we haven't broken any laws, just chilling, doing our own thing, working day by day. Well, we don't care if you go find us. We're good. But if you're breaking the law, you don't want to be found. You know how that one works at the end of the day. So just so you know that you little petty trolls at the end of the day, if you feel at the end of the day that you don't want your possessions, you don't want your car, your business, or whatever you may have at the end of the day that you consider to be of value to your life and to your family, I would suggest you basically just go mind your own business and don't say things you can't back up in court. Or one minute you'll be sitting in your living room, the next minute you'll be sitting in court with a bunch of people judging your whereabouts and what's going to happen to you. You want that situation? It can happen quickly. Be surprised. So just enjoy life. If you don't like my products, and just say you don't like them. Hey, I can't stand it. I don't like the products. I don't even like the guy. I couldn't care less about that. That's freedom of speech. But when you want to say things in there with the potential of trying to damage or destroy my company's name, this is where lawyers get involved. So, there's that. You know how it works. Come on now. You've been on the earth for how long? You should know how it works. No one should ever have to explain to anybody this. You should definitely know from the door about this one how it works. So that's why we don't show up for locations. You know. So that's basically about it. Let me see. And I'll tell you something, I didn't even know about that document that he told me about. I need to know. I never knew that. So if trolls contact your business, they call anybody. It could be any business, anybody. And they give off like false information, blah, blah, trying to make trouble for you. You can get something called a need to know, which means that the establishment that they call, you can get a court order to pick up any phone call recordings, any emails, text messages, anything. And this stuff could be traced back to them. Never knew this was. If I knew this, I would have hit you guys up in the garage and would have found you guys a little sooner than that. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I went to City Hall and asked some questions, and that's what I found out about this document. See, that's why I chose to ask questions at the end of the day, because you never know. But yeah, so when they call zoning to try to make trouble in the garage, I can file a need to know and figure out where you guys are at now. The other ones, there's a couple other ones we don't know about, but we will soon, because I filed for the document. So when you called zoning on the garage and all that stuff, we now can get all your information. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah, that's why I told you. This is the decade of the freaking digital age, people. You don't get away with anything anymore. That's craziness. I'm going to get back to my giant screen. All right, let me see. I'm going to have it supported. Nothing's going to be connected to the wall. Remember, we can't touch the wall. Well, I can, but I don't want to. This is my personal challenge to myself. This is why I'm enjoying this build so much, because we can't touch the wall. Can you imagine if I get into a situation where I have to put something in where I can't touch the environment, I can't touch the wall? I would know how to do it already because I've built it already. So we have a different way how we're going to put our frame system in, where we don't even have to put any screws in it. These previous screws are from the whiteboard that used to be here. So basically, the frame is going to have a a coffee table effect, which I had to do this in one of these other places I lived at because there was a radiator right there, and the radiator was in the way. We couldn't lay the screen flat to the wall, so we had to build stilts that came out from the screen so it would connect right to the wall without touching the radiator. Also, that's when I found out my stuff doesn't crack on heat because we had a radiator behind the screen. But anyway, we're going to put a same system here. It's only about that short because we don't have nothing here blocking there. But the reason why we need it out that far, because from here to here, we're going to have one beam come from here and connect to the screen. That's it. That's how it holds in place. That's all it's needed. Yep. Why did your Fire Stick cut off? I keep saying, hey, you don't got enough memory. We don't download anything. We watch freaking YouTube and Cartoon Network. It's like the only thing I watch on a Fire Stick. I know all those channels, right? The only thing I watch is YouTube and Cartoon Network. YouTube. So this is going to be a giant muscle. Well, not giant. Usually I'm used to having bigger screens than this, but still, for this size in the office, it's going to be huge. I can't wait till we put the aquarium system in. That's going to be awesome. All right, so that's going to be cool. And it's not expensive to build, by the way. It's very affordable. So these are the panels we're going to be using. I swear. What are you hooked on? I can't hook you up. There we go. Woo! It's toppled. This is the panels we're going to be using right there. They are 24 by 36 panels. Very lightweight, easy to use. Now I can go about screwing them in, or I can go about basically gluing them in. I prefer glue. It's easier, it's faster. It'll connect to the surface with no problem whatsoever. So, you ever look at how they make box springs today? They used to make box springs when I was a kid coming up. There was actually springs in it. That's why they called it a box spring. Box springs today don't have springs on them now. They just completely eliminate that altogether. So basically, if you get one of the newer beds, it's kind of like you got a plank system going on there. You've got this frame, and then you drop these rails in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way across. That's what we're building here. Each one of those planks is a holder for one of these panels. So it will hold roughly 10 panels, and then we have to do an additional, it's 5 across. So we have to do an additional 5 across, but they have to be halves because it'll just be too big for the environment. So each one of those panels is across is 24 inches and 36 high. At 36 high, if we do 3 of those, actually 2, and then cut the other one in half, we have the size of the screen we need. As for across, because that became a bit of a headache, if we lay them down, it comes over to be about 140 inches, which is way too big. It definitely wouldn't make it over there, but just too much. But at 10 feet, we got it at 120 inches. 120 inches, 10 feet. So 5 times 24 would reach up to about 120 inches. Perfectly, all the calculations came out perfectly. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good size screen. This is where you start breaking down. It's funny because people get into the field of home theater. Keep in mind, you got to do the math part of it too. There's a lot of math involved. So if math and calculations aren't your strong point, you're gonna have some issues. You got to do distance throw from where the screen and where the projector is going to sit at. Understand how to use a projector calculator, distance throw, and all that stuff. You're gonna have to know all this stuff. And then on top of that, you're gonna do customizations too. On top of that, so not everybody's screen is going to be able to hit 120 or 110 or 100, whatever. You're going to have weird customized sizes like 1610. 1610s have weird sizes. They're like 127, 129. They're not normal sizes. You got 235.1s. They come in weird sizes too. So you got to know that 115, 138, 158, and you got a whole bunch of other ones in between that one. And you got that's the 235.1. Then you got the aspect ratio for 239.1. That's a whole other section by itself. Then you have to learn how to do curved screens. Interesting thing about the curved screen is the fact that when you do a curve, the screen must be curved just enough so you can see both images on each side. But if it's curved too much, you could basically cut off image from the left or from the right. So you have to know that perfect curve to hit it. Yep. So from what I've seen so far with everybody else making paints at the end of the day, y'all don't know that. Y'all just know the basics, which is traditional flat against the wall. That's what you know, which is the basic sizes of 100, 120, and then you have 150. That's the basic. Then you start reaching that 180, 190, or 165, 167, weird sizes like that. Yeah, here's the thing. If you're going to guess that, and I hate to bring this up, but it's true. I mean, I'm only speaking, but it's true. If you're going to guess that 2 quarts of your product is going to paint a 300 screen, you've got a lot of problems on your hands. That is never going to work. Even a professional painter will see that one from a mile away. That means you've never painted a big screen. That's what it comes down to. So what size, you have to know for every time you make paint and your containers, what size screen do you get out of that container? You can't second guess those. Because when you second guess, you can cause yourself a lot of problems. It's not problems for the customer, you'll have problems too. So what do you get out of a 32 ounce? We get 150 inch. How do we know? We painted 150 inch. I did it on camera. It's called a paint down display. We've done them. How do we know how much we get out of 20 ounces? We get a 106 inch screen. Why? I did the demonstration. How do I know how much paint it requires to paint a 250 inch screen? Did that one too. I actually did it 3 times. It gets us 96 ounces to paint a 250 inch screen. And you have to go heavy on the screen, which means that you're not going to do your professional coating and to do a customer's everyday professional coating, but you're going to go heavy, which means you have to have enough paint left over to apply to maybe a 100 inch screen. You should have really good coverage on your product. So that's why I found it weird when I looked at the Series C paint that's supposed to be like a thin light coating. Right. And you know, I guess he doesn't understand the laws of physics or anything with how this works at the end of the day. So if you take water and you take mud and you put both of them on a board and you tilt the board up, which one is going to hit the finish line first? Would it be the water or the mud? It would be the water, of course, because the water is going to be much more lighter, more thinner, more for material. With the mud, it's going to be heavy and sluggish. It's going to take time for it to reach destination. So that means you get more coverage out of the water than you get out of the mud. So if your product is basically supposed to be a thin light coating, so to say, why in the world are you only getting 100 inch, 120 inches out of 32 ounces when we get 150 inches? It's not a water coating. Did anyone pick that up? All the professionals picked it up. Every single one of them picked it up. That's how we know the difference between professionals and non-professionals, because no one noted that at the bottom of the comment. The minute we took the video and we put it to a forum site, everybody brought it up. Maybe 1 or 2, 3 people may have got it right. So as you're talking about coverage and you have a thin light coating material, you should be able to do 150 inch extremely easy, because your coverage would be much better than thick mud. So when I saw that, I was like, only 120 inches, what the freak? No one picked up on that. How easy to be scammed. It was unbelievable how easy it is for some customers to get scammed. The sad thing about it, for those who don't know, it's not your fault. You're beginners. I was a beginner too. It's expected of you. But those who think you know, you don't know jack at all. Because I have put things out there, like videos and stuff, just to see how much information they knew, and they didn't know anything. Gee whiz Louise, how do you not see that one? Okay, whatever. Anyway, yeah. The reason why it required multiple coats is because the product was too thin. It didn't have a way to cover whatever it was actually painting over, and that's why it required multiple coats. You didn't pick that up either? Probably not. Okay. All right, whatever. Moving on. I got my stuff to do, so I'm done. But you have to be to know that at the end of the day. Because the bottom line, if you have someone who paints a screen that size, there's a 100% chance he's got a painter to go do the job for him. The average customer for screen size would be 100 inches. Maybe 120. You get 120 there somewhere. 150 inches is a really big screen. That's a 7 feet by 12 foot screen. That's a big screen. So the average person have a screen, mind you, that's not even 150 inches right here. That's nowhere close to 150 inch screen. 150 inch screens are huge. So you're talking about a huge screen. So Average person's usually not going to have something like that. Maybe in their basement, backyard, something like that, the deck, maybe something like that. But most likely, that's where you're going to find it at. So if you are painting a screen at 180 inches, you know the size of a 180 inch screen, that's a very big screen. You're not going to, average people are not going to have that in their home. So majority, most likely, a person who's painting a screen of that caliber, is chances are is probably going to have somebody do it for them. I had some customers who do paint 180 inches in, but most of the time it's somebody that's anything over the 180 point, definitely going to have a private painter come in and do it. 250 inch screen, not too many people going to paint that thing in. So you have to know what you're talking about when the painter contacts you, because he will contact you. Painters will contact you. They want to know exactly what the product is. God, I wish they read the specification sheet. That would make it so much easier. But there's other things they have to ask too that are not on the specification sheet. Like, do I have to add paint thinner to this? Can I run it through a paint sprayer? What type of paint sprayer can I use? All these different questions they're going to ask. And one of the things they're going to ask is coverage. Like, is there enough here to cover your screen? Because look at the screen, look at 96 ounces. Like, yeah, it'll definitely cover it. We'll show them the video of us actually doing it. So when you get up there, and I'm sorry if it's ruffle feathers, but it is what it is. It's true. It's true. YouTuber sat there and said that 2 quarts paints up to a 300 inch screen. We had a 250 in the backyard. Imagine a 300 inch. Again, that's a massive screen. So, problem he's going to have at the end of the day that the painter is definitely going to give him a call. He's going to put my painter on the phone. He's going to talk to you for a couple of minutes. And the painter's going to get on the phone like, yeah, hello? Hey, buddy, what's up? Look, you're saying 2 quarts paints up to a 300 screen? I'm sorry, buddy. I got to tell you, no, that's not going to happen. Even if you put it through a paint sprayer, do you have any idea how much paint gets eaten in a paint sprayer? Majority, most of your paint is up in the air somewhere. Unless you know how to apply that perfectly to the surface, you're still going to have paint particles in the air. You're going to still leave paint. You actually gain more paint when you roll. But anyway, yeah, he's going to ask that question. And he's going to tell you at the end of the day, you're a liar. He said, that's not possible. You're talking to a professional painter here. He's going to know how much paint goes from A to B. So he's going to advise the owner to get his money back. That's what he's going to advise the owner to do. Because the owner's going to listen to him. He's been his painter for God knows how long. He's probably did his house, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. He's his private painter. He's definitely going to go by anything he says. So if you sit there and say that, this is the part I couldn't understand. Why in the world would somebody make a statement like that? Especially when you've been in the business for that long. You should know this. Noobs do these mistakes. Person for the first time makes that mistake. 3 100-inch screens equals the size of a 300-inch screen? No. The map ain't there, man. It's not there. I had 250 inches in my backyard. That wasn't no 300-inch. I was roughly at 235.1 at 198 inches, somewhere around that range. But no, I don't have the height for it. I made the length for it, but I ain't got the height for it. The height's missing. So yeah, 3 100-inch screens are the same size as an actual 300-inch screen. This is why I said people don't do math. You're gonna mess up someone's calculations really bad. 100-inch screen is what? 4 feet by 7 feet. 4 feet by 7 feet. If you stack it, that's 12 feet. You're still missing the length. Length is missing now because you only got 7 feet. And if you drop it by the length, then that means you got 21 feet. So you're missing the height. So where do you get 300 screen out of that? Yeah. I'm leaving it at that. That's what you guys were trusting at the end of the day to know exactly how to do your home theater setup. You didn't even know the calculations of a 300-inch screen. Well, I went and did it for you guys. I went out and got 2 quarts and tried to paint a 250. It didn't even reach. Didn't come anywhere close to it at all. Wow, unbelievable. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been in so many different forum sites. I've talked to so many people. It's not even funny. I've never seen anybody make that mistake before. I told you, noobs do it when they first start off. They make that mistake. I did it myself. I made it. You're new. You're first starting off. You think, but then you start doing the math. You go, wait, this ain't correct. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I said, why don't you just stack it upward? How would that even work? When we transfer the screens upward and horizontal, they would be roughly still same math amount, almost the same math. We could be the same math amount because they'd be at 4 feet across. So you would have roughly around 12 feet across, but then you would have somewhere between 7 feet high. You still wouldn't make it. The 3-inch screens are massive. The screen at the 250 I had in my backyard was like 12 feet. It was 12 feet high. And it was roughly somewhere between almost 20 feet wide. It was a big screen to put that thing in. It took 16 bolts to drop that thing into the freaking side of the deck. And that was the most interesting build I ever put together because we couldn't put whatchamacallit on it. We couldn't put a frame on it. It's impossible to frame because I put the frame on 180 inch, and every time the wind shot down the driveway and struck the screen, it shook the house. I heard boom, boom, boom. Like, what the freak is shaking the house? And I found out the wind that's coming down the driveway was hitting under the deck, and it was slamming the screen. And since the screen had nowhere to reflect that energy, it was shaking the house. So what I had to do was when I put the screen in, I had to take the what do you call it? I had to bolt the system from the top, but when it came down to the bottom, it had to be tethered. And the tether had to be done on a slant. So when the wind hit it, because it was constant wind coming down the driveway, the driveway had constant wind. Enough wind to push the screen so it stays straight. Yep. Check out the math and physical, what do you call it? The math I had to do on that thing. What was it called? Math and physics to do that one, to get that to work. And the entire time when I did the demonstration, wind was constantly pushing. Because I had to figure exactly how much wind actually travels down the driveway to make contact with the screen. So, yep. Oh, by the way, so you know this from the door, that we're not doing any tutorial demonstrations when we build these things. So, I'm not putting them in. I already did tutorial demonstrations on showing you how to build screens at the end of the day, but there'll be no tutorial videos at all. So, if you think for a hot second that I'm sorry to put it this way, but again, it just takes too much long time to do tutorials. So I'm not doing it. I'm going to build the screen, put it together, and be done. Let me see. You stay out of trouble because I'm watching you. But we're not doing any tutorials on how to build them. All right, so let me see. I have, let me get this all set up over here. Let me turn this on. Yeah, you gotta know what you're doing. People get mad at me and they hey, you gotta know what you're doing. You're, at the end of the day, it's gonna be your problem if you don't get that thing right. So, mad all you want, but you gotta get it right. You don't get it right, you're gonna have all sorts of ugly problems gonna pop up and make your life miserable, make your customer's life miserable, and it's not gonna work out too well. So that's not gonna work out at all. But I decided I'm not going to do the builds on here. We're not doing any more builds. We're done with all that. I built so much stuff. We're done. We're just going to show the screen done and finished, and that's it, like we did with this one over here. Let me see what these are. I'm going to leave them over here because I don't need it right now. Actually, I do want to pick my Pac-Man up to this. Different Pac-Man to this. So if you got that mentality, we'll come back later. You can't. We're not going to be showing any more builds. We're done. Like I said, the warehouse we're getting right now, all that stuff done in secret. We're not basically showing up anything that goes up in that place. Oh, that's going to be in secret. Secret, but secret like that's your laboratory. Wow. All right, let me see. So that's one panel we have there. Well, at least we can cut that in. We get 12. We need 12. We need 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, we have enough. That is 12. That's 12. We have enough. I'm going to show this off downstairs. I'm going to show it basically. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10. You get 12 in a pack. So it's 2, we slice them half for that one and that one. Oh yeah, we got enough. We're good. 12 is all we need. 12 is perfect. That's about exactly what I would need to put this thing together. Ah, man, soon I'm gonna have this whole wall to play Pac-Man on. Oh, and the cameras are not gonna be down here anymore. I'm tired of having cameras. I'm tripping over. I'm gonna connect them up. So I got network cameras coming in. I'm connecting one there, the magnetic strip there, and one there. So that way I can direct my cameras back and forth with a little pad in the front that I can actually control which cameras come on. So I'm going to do camera switchboards. Ooh, where can I get that from? Go ahead, I can get it on. Yeah. Oh my God, I can think it every time. What? Oh my God, I can think it every time. All right, let's see what we'll do here. Oh, you couldn't. Oh, I forgot Peter's not been on. Oh, let me see. Everything's hooked up. I tell you, it's great when you basically develop your own technology that you can basically obsolete stuff that you don't want to use anymore. Now, we used to have a monitor up here, right? Well, we don't need the monitor anymore. The monitor got taken out because that thing was giving me headaches and everything else under the sun. It had to go. It was just giving me all kinds of headaches. So, I was able to swap my monitor out for the new technology. This is coming out in 2026. But, you know, we get ours now because we make it. So I was able to get rid of my monitor and trade it out for a see-through monitor. Why is this fish always over here, Taco? Why? For me to trip over. Ask for YouTube. YouTube. We're not basically picking up on this at all, period? Like, not at all. There you go. Not freaking on you. YouTube. Today. YouTube. I cannot imagine having this stuff in my home. It's crazy. Listen, it has an attitude most of the time. Jeez, that's just like a freaking nightmare. Let me see. Yeah, change that, put my other water bottle in. Well, yeah, I'm doing the gamer paint. I get the game paint on both sides. But, Archer short throw on this side, excuse me, and my ViewSonic on this side. I'm doing 235.1 setup. Actually, I can switch back and forth. The screen's big enough to do it. So 235.1, I think they have 1610 and 4.3. 4.3 for my retros, 235.1 for my movies, and 1610 for gaming. So what about 16.9? 16.9 is in true widescreen. True widescreen is 1610. Actually, truthfully it is. Look at that cyberpunk display. All right, let me see. I think I'm gonna do a full display today. I definitely want to do a full display. Oh, you ready to work now? Anytime. Or too young, too old, whatever. YouTube. I swear for 6 every time. Are you kidding? Watch it look like I'm over here. YouTube. YouTube. What do you got?
This one here, we can override this nonsense. This is the jack. So for my foot.
Yeah, I just got attitudes now. I gotta go in there. I can either go in and modify this thing and just basically disable whatever crap that's going on in the update firmware. Let me see. Oh, let me turn to the side. We have weirdos on our channel. Weirdos. I think everybody's got weirdos on their channel. Weirdos. What are you running? Let me see. The next fest? What the frick? What we got going on here? What do we got going on here? I gotta do some game buying today. I gotta get some new stuff. Oh, look at this. They got the arcades in. The arcades. What's this one right here? Wait, they had a beat 'em up game? I didn't know that. We gotta run a retro pipe this thing. Retro gaming. That's what it's all about, baby. I didn't know they had a beat 'em up game on here. Oh, we're gonna have to get this. Beat 'em up games, yes. Oh my goodness, I didn't know we had one of these. Like a Streets of Rage. Oh heck yes, we definitely getting this, man. Wait, this is new. This is new. We definitely got to get this. I'm not a Power Ranger fan, but this is great. This is fantastic. Oh, you gotta be kidding! You can go in big robot mode and fight. That is crazy. All right, all right. We definitely getting this. We definitely getting this. Oh, this is hilarious. We definitely getting this. All right, that's a definite yes. Yeah, for a minute. It requires an i5 25. Yeah, we passed that. We were at 37 something on an i5. Some arcade system, and then most if you want to max out an i7 3777, that's a 50. That it's not even a $50 chip. You can get that chip for somewhere roughly that CPU for like $20, $30 easy. If you want it unlocked, you can unlock one for cheaper, like $50 for unlocked. That's all they're asking for. GTS 250, that's nothing right there at the end of the day. That's why I said the way my system's set up. People sit there and go, oh, you got a 1050. My system's not set up for this kind of stuff. It's a work PC, by the way, but they're not set up for that. They're set up for arcade games. I'm an arcade junkie. Yeah, you play on the newer systems at the end of the day. If I want to build a newer system, I can build a new system. Wait till I got two PCs I'm building. I got a custom build for GTA 6. And the other one I'm actually doing for my steampunk setup. I decided with the steampunk setup, I found out that the 5060s are cheap. They're like $500 cards. I'm like, that's a cheap card for $500. So a 5060, heck yeah, I can get that. I'll put that in there. I'm a liquid cooled daylight set, I think, by the way. And if I get a motherboard combo from Amazon will cost me roughly about $490. So that is an i9 processor. The motherboard's going to take somewhere between 128 gigabytes of RAM. So heck yeah, that's a fantastic deal right there. Yeah, definitely. That's a no-brainer. And people sit there and say, well, you know, you could just go out and buy. Yeah, again, the consoles, people. I like consoles and all. They're just too expensive. I'm not spending a freaking no. I mean, it's too much for my main system. Now, if I'm buying it, the modification, just for fun, yeah. But I'm not putting any money into it. I'm not paying for the subscription costs. I'm not paying for games for it. None of that. Whatever comes with it, that's what I'm playing with it. That's basically about it. I'm not going to invest in this at all. There's just no point. They're too expensive. Consoles are way too expensive. Is that Power Stone? I just saw Power Stone. Ooh. See, this is my thing right here. This is my stuff in the day. I like the retro games. That's my era. That's where I come from. The new stuff, if they bring something that piques my interest, then I'll build something for it. If I don't need it, I don't buy it. I buy what I need. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, I just check that out. Wait, okay, wait. Let's I'm gonna add this to the list so I can remind myself I'm buying this today. We need to get that. But I need to know what this is going on down here. Like when the guy sat there and said that, oh, you don't need a liquid cooling system. Yeah, your liquid cooling system you would need on any system because every graphic card, I mean, every CPU requires a fan. If it requires a fan, it means it gets hot. And if it gets hot, it needs cooling. It'll make a difference. The only difference is, again, I told you about the whole scenario. The reason why I like liquid cooling systems is because you're blowing hot air. And right now, when wintertime kicks in, the heat kicks in this place. So that means I'm going to be bringing hot air from an already stressed out system. Never mind, hold on for a minute, people. I got to go somewhere in my mind. We got Project Justice on here? Are you freaking kidding me? Do you have any idea how much that game costs? The version of Project Justice for Dreamcast, I used to have it back in the day. I had that game. I sold it. It was the biggest mistake I made in my entire life. It's so hard to get that game. Those games are like $200-300 just for that game. And they got them all in here. We got Street Fighter Alpha on here. SNK versus Capcom versus SNK. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're playing on the giant screen over here. That's why we got the screen paint. These are the invisible technology. They look amazing. I'm gonna put my portable screen up here. I gotta put my portable. Okay, set my portable screen up. Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this downstairs. No, I gotta bring a PC down there. What I got run this PC? We ain't no portables down there, do we? No, we have to do it up here. Oh my goodness! I can't believe they had that in there. You gotta be crispy corn kidding me? I've been trying to get this game for the longest time, and it's so expensive to get this game for Dreamcast. Project Justice? It used to be called something Rival Schools. The Japanese version was. I had the Japanese version. You always tell yourself, I can buy it again. That doesn't work out too well. 8 legendary Capcom titles. Yeah, they got it right there. Project Justice. Oh man, I can't wait to get to this game. It's gonna bring back so many memories. I had this on the Dreamcast. When Dreamcast first came out here, it was in Japanese. And the Japanese version had the orange box with the white swirl. And the American version had the white box with the red swirl. I had the Japanese version too. Yep. This game was the truth. It was called Rival Schools. The Japanese version is called Rival School. Power Stone. I got both of my Dreamcasts. I got 1 and 2. I own both of them. Capcom Fighters Evolution. Plasma Sword. Oh, I had that for Sega Saturn. Plasma Sword. That's a good game too. That's a really good game. Street Fighter Alpha. Another good game. Capcom versus SNK. Capcom versus SNK 2. Man. But yeah, getting back to the whole thing about the whole console. No, I'm not going to buy a console at all, period. There's a bunch of games I have on my PC list that's not on console. They don't have it on console. It's on PC only. So with that being said, I'm going to invest in the PC. On top of that, I mean, if I'm going to buy something, I want something I can modify. I'd like to be able to modify and take it apart at will. Eventually, I'm going to get the console system modified, but I'm never going to really use them, to tell you the truth. This is a modification. That's why I'm buying them all used. Usually, I would never buy a console system used. Look at this. We've got Power Stone 2. This is Power Stone 2. Yeah. Boy, talking about jacking up your friends in the game. That's a game you could jack somebody up in that game. That's what I'm talking about. Where are we requesting at the bottom? Specifications. All right, this requires an i5 4460, so I definitely would have to upgrade for this one. I can't run it off this. It won't run. But the graphic card is a GTX 760. I can run the graphic card. I can't run the processor, and that's minimum. So definitely, yeah, getting the whole setup I need, the steampunk setup. The steampunk system is going to have an i9 processor with a 5060 graphic card in it. So that should be enough for me to run whatever frick I want to run in there. Because I got some other PC titles in here I want to play, but I can't. So I have to upgrade it. Let me see. But first, we need giant screen to do this on, and that's when we already got gamer paint. So we got our gamer paint, hook on our giant screen, build the other PC. I'm in. Let me see. I'm adding this because I definitely want it on my list. It's $39 too, so that's a very good price too. And you got add-ons. These are all the add-ons right here. You can add on add-ons very cheap. Content for your game. Come over here and see what it runs up to. It runs your Xbox controller. Also runs Dreamcast. Oh, it runs the Dreamcast controller? Are you kidding me? I gotta get a Joy Box for this. So I don't know if you guys know the term of Joy Box, but when I was coming up with Joy Box, it was a little unit that you can plug all your cool stuff into, like all your controllers. That's why I kind of say that at the end of the day that, you know, that's the reason why I like PC so much, because PC basically plays all your controllers. What else are we doing on this? We could do a Dreamcast one here. Oh, that is wicked. Yeah, because I was wondering how that would work. That's interesting. I got Dreamcast controllers. All right, cool. And then we got all the updates we can upgrade. So if I spend $46, I can get everything in one hit, all of it in one hit. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got going on down here. Because sometimes they put stuff down here. Oh, we got the Sonic Racing. I'm gonna need that. This is one I definitely want. I definitely want this one. What are you? Oh, that's funny. I've got to look at this. This looks hilarious. I love games like this. Is this online? Hopefully it's online. Oh yeah, please tell me this is online. It is online. Yes, I'm definitely working online with this. And the price tag is $19. Brawl fighting game. i5, we have that already. Yeah, graphic card's about 750 Ti. So that's nothing. I said you don't need. And people say you have to have. You don't have to have. The only time you need, like, you're going to do a 5090 is you're going to run this thing in 4K. You're going to need something like that. You're going to run it at 4K. That's still going to be a requirement. You want to do those raw, ultra high grade setting, you're going to need that graphic card to do that. Other than that, if you're just doing everyday gaming, you're sufficient enough. You got enough power, you're sufficient enough. But for you see the people that are playing ultra 4K, they have those graphic cards. You would need it for that. Now, is it a requirement to play games? No, it's not. So most games are not going to require that. I got a friend of mine who has the 5090. His gameplay is a little different than most people. He's a top level entry programmer, put it that way. He's a code writer. He writes code. So he's an interesting individual. So when he goes and plays games like, mod these things like Skyrim, like you didn't go and mod Skyrim with dragons in, give yourself machine guns, lightsaber, anything like that. He's like, no, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. He's into realistic games. So he went in and changed the lighting and the shading and the mapping in the game to make it seem more realistic. That's what he likes to do at the end of the day. Because the games aren't real enough for him. So he rewrote a lot of the code in it. He did a lot of coding on the game. I was like, wow, it's freaking sick. It was absolutely amazing. But I'm like, still, you don't want to put a machine gun in there somewhere? Like, all this nonsense, it takes away from the game. It's not realistic. Man, I have all kinds of weapons in there. Like, is that a flamethrower, my dude? It's a flamethrower. Let's go play with the dragon. Like the macho dragon, which is the funnest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like the one guy made it rain witches and back. It was he did it in what was that game called? Left 4 Dead. He made it rain witches. We're on his server. Do not tell. I probably changed it by now, but that's the server name. It's called Do Not Tell. And I went in there and I was like, yo, where are the freaking zombies that just wait? Just wait. I guess he had a timer on his end. And as you know, it was raining witches. Man, that's the most jacked up thing I've ever seen in my entire life. You know how vicious the witches are? And them suckers were raining witches. They were all over the place. You kill one, they all fire off at the same time, screaming and running after you. Oh, it's hilarious. All right, let me see. I'm going to get back to that. What was that Sonic Racing? I saw the Sonic Racing, but I saw something else. I'm going to go back to see what we got there. There we go. Let me see what we got on here. I was going to do Sonic Racing. But we had that. I think I got that on my list. We got Pac-Man. Yeah, I got to do my Pac-Man gaming system. Definitely got to put that in there. Definitely going to do the Sonic Racing. What's the Sonic Racing asking for? $3470. That's on my processor on here. It's a 3470. So this will run this 3470, and the graphic card I would have to upgrade because the graphic card is a 1630, but it's actually running a 3470. So what I'm picking out to choose to do my upgrade from my arcade, but it's going to be through my steampunk system, which I run the rest of the stuff I want to run. I can easily run all this with no problem. Yep. Even in the max settings, I can actually still recommended settings. I can still run with no problem. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna do the combo deal. The combo deals are much cheaper, much affordable. But I am gonna need 2 power supplies in that unit because the a 5060 is going on dedicated power supply. I'm not even touching that or adding that in. It's going to have its own liquid cooling system. So I'm definitely taking the stock fans off. I'm definitely jumping my RPMs on them. I'm definitely going to put in a fan speed controller so I can actually ram those RPMs up even higher. And yeah, I'm doing it all separately with that. So that's going to be a whole job on its own. It's going to be an interesting case. So I'm like, okay, we can do all that, but we don't need I don't think I doubt we're going to need a liquid cooling system. A 4060 liquid cooling system. Huge, just a huge liquid cooling system. We don't need that. I don't even need one of these. I wonder if I can get a 140. If I can get a 140, a single 140 would be perfect. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the fans on the top and fans on the bottom. I'm definitely doing 5,000 RPMs. Definitely. No less than 5,000 RPMs. And I don't want to put a lot of stress on the board, so I'm actually going to reroute them directly to the power supply. But it's going to have its own dedicated power supply anyway. You can put a 500 watt. I'm just curious. I didn't even ask that question to begin with. What are we using for power consumption on this thing? Let me see. Should I ask that question from the door? Isn't that cool? See through screen? I love this thing, man. I'm so in love with this screen. When I get done finishing the frame around, I'm putting a light system behind the back of it, so I can basically see the light push right through it. Now, every time I mention something we're going to do crazy for our screens like that, they leave the room. They get so mad over that. How can you be that way? I don't know how that works. I mean, I sat and talked to a friend. Like, how does that work? How does that jealousy thing work? I don't get it. I've never been that type of person. I've never been the type of person to be jealous over somebody else's work. Never been. Life is too short to waste my time being angry over somebody else's work. That's petty. That's real petty. When I got people that are jealous over someone, I walk away from them. I cut you off. I have no time to be dealing with that. I don't even want to hear about it. Like, I don't want to hear about how jealous you are of Frank. But Frank got a new boat in his driveway. I couldn't care less. Good for you, Frank. Hope you get another one. I have no idea why people are like that. That's just really petty. And I definitely don't want to hear you talk about how much you hate Frank if Frank got a boat in his backyard. Then go get yourself a boat. That's what you do. Take that to motivate you and go get yourself a boat. Now, if Frank's a jerk and he brags all the time, then that's just Frank at the end of the day. Who freaking cares? Just get yourself a boat. You know how short life is? You're going to spend your time grilling and upset, bitter, get yourself ulcers and stomach pain and gray hair and heart attacks, or you jealous over somebody else's work. You can go, some of y'all going to jail for it. Really? Get sued over some, y'all. See, that's what I'm saying at the end of the day, man. You get to a point in your life, as you get older, you evolve past that nonsense. And some of you, basically, as adults, haven't learned to evolve past childhood behaviors yet. Kids do that. Kids get jealous over little Johnny because Johnny's got a green pail and I got a yellow pail. Kids do that stuff. Come on. That's pretty pathetic. I don't get into the whole jealousy nonsense. There's a guy who drives around here with this fancy sports car. It's a beautiful vehicle. I don't sit there going, oh, I hate it. No. Fantastic for him. He worked hard. He got a nice vehicle. Kudos to you. Got time for that dumb nonsense. Grow the freak up. Your friends of mine get out. This is where I have to cut you off. Why? I don't engage in that nonsense. It's childhood nonsense. Let me see if I put Google. There's so many people on earth that got better stuff than me. I don't sit there and gripe over what they have. Hey, they earned it. Kudos to them. Hope they get more. All right, let me see. How much power does the 5090 take? I'm not getting 5090, I'm getting 5060. How much power does a 5060 graphic card take? The 5060 graphic card draws about 145 to 155. You don't need much of that. 500 watt power supply do that perfectly. I wonder. 8,000 RPM fans, 140 millimeters. That 8,000 would be super loud. 8,000 RPMs. Well, these are 5,000. 8,000, 8,000. These are 5,000 a piece. So I do top and bottom. That's 10,000 RPMs. Because that system right here, the cooling system over here, this whole piece over here, the hard drives even have 5,000 RPMs on them. So, yeah. But 8,000, that'd be interesting. Do they have an 8,000 RPM fan? I bet you don't. I hate it when they bring stuff up and go, hey, we got it right here. Let me see. I'm gonna go with the 5,000. 8,000 is gonna be super loud. Even if they're quiet, those are supposed to be quiet. I can hear them from over here. Most likely, if you find an 8,000 RPM fan, it's not going to have any colors, no lights on it whatsoever. We don't want any lights on ours. We want ours basically the fan. I'm doing my own. I don't want any lights. I want a basic black high power fan. That's what I want. I'm doing my own lighting system on it, and I'm doing my own paint job. So, don't need that. I'm curious what you're saying here. Using 14 millimeters, ooh, it's small. Intake. Don't look at pulling with this. And this guy's running a 1650. I know when people come into my, when they come in, oh, you gotta no. Where are you getting this from? Who the frick are you getting information from? That everybody has to run. The minute a graphic card comes out, you have to have that. You have to have that in order for anything to run. Are you kidding me? They got you on that PS4 nonsense. Your graphic card's supposed to be equivalent to a 4070 in there? Half your games don't run on 4070s. Like, literally don't. They don't require a 4070 to run. If you look at, go get yourself a Steam account or go in there as a guest and go in there and look at what God of War requires to run off. God of War requires to run off a 20 series. That's it, a 20 series graphic card. You know how expensive it would be for any PC gamer at the end of the day if we had to go in and all games are made under that one particular graphic card. They make games under all graphic cards. We have so many graphic cards for PC, it's not even funny. You can get a 3050 and do fantastic. You can get a 1660. A 1660 will run a GTX. It's the GTX, no, there's not the GTX. It's the I can't think of the G2. It'll run the G2 on VR systems. I could run the VR systems off your system with a 1660 graphic card. You don't need a lot of power. That's why I know from the door we run into people who don't know what they're talking about. They don't know much about PC. They'll be naming the highest parts they can possibly think of. Like, what the frick are you running all that? You got a freaking nuclear testing ground going on in your place within the day? What the frick would you need all that for? The average PC runs off 16 gigabytes. That's it. And most people have made, on my system over here, I got 64. It's a work PC. I got to open up multiple tabs. Got 30, 40 tabs open up on my PC. You know what happens when you have like 30, 40 tabs and you're running at 16 gigabytes? Windows going to start shutting down on you. Your window applications are shutting down. Either you shut down or you can't open up. So sites that require more memory to open up, you can't open up because you don't have enough memory. God, it was even worse when basically they had integrated video. Integrated video means basically like a 270 sockets, or 270, 270? That's going to be it, 270 sockets. The Pentium 2s. They integrated video. So instead of you having dedicated video, which would be a graphic card, because graphic card comes with what, 4 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes, some come with 16 gigabytes. 16 gigabytes do 4K, by the way. Those are the ones that cost you $500 and $800 and so forth. But anyway, and then you got 24 gigabytes, which the funny thing about it, everybody thought 24 gigabytes is new, but technically it's not, because the Tesla had a graphic card that you couldn't run any peripherals through. It was just basically a graphic card for data. It was never designed for basically gaming. They had 24 gigs on, and that's a 7-year-old card. So that's nothing new to have 24 gigs on a card. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying today, if I haven't already forgotten already, like, you really don't need all that power. It's crazy. You don't need all that to begin with. So if they basically made it where you had to run all new games run on 5090, you're not going to find a lot of people gaming. That's a very expensive graphic card. It graphics are a couple $1,000. You're not going to find a lot of people playing on the game systems. The whole object of when you develop games is to sell copies, not eliminate so you can't sell copies, because you'll never get the money back you spent and to invest to make the game. You have to make it so it applies to most majority of graphic cards that people can afford. You make it only the 5090, no, you'll have very few people on the server to play the game. So yeah, most people you'll see that be gaming is either at minimum, they're at minimum gaming on their system. Minimum settings are on there. And there's some people who they want to have the high-end graphics, you'll have them. It's a category class in PC. Console's not a category. You do have a category class now. You do have one. Yes, you do have one now. Because the Pro came out with that more advanced system. Now you have one. Because before, everybody had the same thing. You got a PS system, I got a PS. We got the same thing. Yours may be colored different, had different fans or modification, but, only difference is bigger hard drives, that's all. Other than that, or now with the new system out here, you got a big change in that one. But yeah, you don't need all that. You can still run games off an RX 580. 580, 590 run games, no problem whatsoever. You don't need all that. So a buddy of mine who wants to build a PC, so he had to buy these expensive parts. So this is what you do. Get yourself a Steam account, and then go in and check. It's free, by the way. And just go in and check the specification sheets on what kind of hardware you would need. He's like, I can run just about everything on here with a 3050. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You don't need all that. The i7 3770, still a good CPU. You run a lot of games off that. You don't have to have a high end. The only reason why people do the high ends, they go into all parts because that's an investment for them. It's an investment because you're going with the high end parts because you don't have to buy anything for a very long time. That's all. Future-proofing it. That's basically about it. But even with a 3050, you can still run games off with no problem. So I'm just going to keep it, and I'm going to go berserk on this. I'm going to do the 5,000 RPMs. 5,000 RPMs is good enough. And I'm going to basically do a single at 140 millimeter. And I'm going to dual the fans on it, so that way I have 10,000 RPMs. And I want to put in a touchscreen fan controller so I can speed up the RPMs. Dedicated directly to the power supply. Skip that motherboard. I don't like plug this into my motherboard anyway. Every time you turn around, you get some system error. Simple error, because the machine is having conflict issue with your hardware. Drivers are having problems with conflict issues. I remember that used to be a conflict issue. If you're running AMD graphic card and you're running Intel at the same time, the CPU is off. No, you're running a motherboard that ran for Intel, and you run a graphic card that may be compatible with that. You can have all kinds of driver conflict issues that pop up. That happened to me one time. Yeah, I ain't doing that again. Next time I built, when I did build an AMD PC, all the parts, everything were all AMD. Which one do I prefer? I don't really care, as long as I can game. All right, we're done here. I've gone over time here talking about gaming. We're talking about screen. We're getting to a gaming. How did we get off topic for that? I don't even know. Nobody knows. All right, that's basically about it. I got my thing mapped out. I'm gonna build this, put this whole thing together. And for where I'm sitting right here, in my chair, you'd be about my height here, because this is where I'm at in the chair for my face is at. You see, I can see the baseboard with no problem. So when I put the giant screen in, I can see from the top to the bottom. Just on the camera, we can't see from side to side. So that's why we're going to have, I'm getting rid of this thing. I don't want the thing in front of me when I'm gaming. I'm going to put a camera up there so I can see over there. And by the way, I just forgot about that. While I was on here, I was supposed to be looking up a camera switchboard. Boom, boom, boom. Camera switchboard. That's what we got to get, a camera switchboard. That we can switch to camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. So I'm going to put a camera here for that screen over there, a camera here for that one over there, another camera for my desk to show my see-through monitor when I play on it, and another one for the fish tank. We're going to call that the fish tank. Oh, I forgot to get a name for it, but that's what I call it. We're going to get a 4-camera switcher. I need a 4-camera switcher. All right, put on our camera switch off. Bam. All right, with that being said, hope you enjoyed. I did. I gotta go. Thank you for your time and God bless.